Welcome to the Game Lounge. Save. Let's not go through all that again. The dwarf planet is marked on the Von Valancia's Protectorate charts as Atla, and serves as a backup source of water for the habitable worlds of neighboring systems. Due to the abundance of bacteria proliferating in the Atla hydrosphere, the extraction of ice has stopped half a century ago. But much to your officer's surprise, the augurs detected an unidentified mining rig deep underground. Presumably, the excavation is aimed at extracting clay minerals near the planet's core, enriched with iron and other metals. Send a scatter party. The extract team turns out to be Incendia Corda's latest investment, whose domain is located just within a few jumps from the Kranach system. While this world is of little value to the Von Valancia's dynasty, your officers see this gesture as an attempt to test the boundaries of the newly minted rogue trader's leniency, and insists on confiscating or rebasing this extraction. That was not the unusual composition of the core. The extraction of rare refractory metals. Heading, he's a rare trader decides to keep the extraction for himself. Racially allows and so to feed on crumbs unworthy of those to destroy the extraction with a shot. Your people easily assume control as the frightened workers and the token security crew do not even attempt to resist. The extract team's machines are restarted shortly after. The amassed containers filled with precious ore are delivered to the flagship's cargo hold. Nice. Yes. Alright. Save again. Let's try it.
Time to earn your keep, crew. The void may be harsh, but we're harsher.
Ooh, what's that? I'd rather take a higher hit chance. %, less scraps, that seems like a good idea. Ooh, getting hot. Alright, what's going on Kiava Gamma? As his eyes sweep over the Manufactorum's dark halls. No solemn ceremony, no personal meeting with Magia. I fear we are too late, and we won't be dealing with clandestine heretics after all. Binaric arias of alarm stream out of Pascal's Vox synthesizer. In a neurotic, broken rhythm, you sense a call to arms and a warning of danger. How do we go? To start, let's look around and find out why the arrival of the rogue trader did not elicit the usual fuss. To speak plainly, I would not count a warm welcome at this rate. Alright.
Always keep your eye on the price.
Operation successful.
Before you is an ancient but wholly typical console intended for use by people not trained in the mysteries of ministering to machine spirits. The cogitator is completely silent, but as you approach, you sense the warmth emanating from its metallic casing, a telltale sign that the machine is working. View the log. You discover the local data crypt with contents collected by either previous operators or the machine spirit itself. Using your access, you study the archives. The vast data repositories contain millions of strings of related data, related to receiving raw materials for processing, processing materials. Okay. Oh. View that. Oh. Your knowledge of machine spirits is sufficient to trick this system and subdue it to your will. A false query, a crafty manipulation of the controls, and you get what you want. The instrumental terminals have already been replaced, and the material delivery systems are being prepared for divine transformation. The execution of the new procedure has been delayed, for there are some in our ranks who doubt the words of Fabricator-Censor. Ooh, and his votaries. There are some who are not susceptible to the enhancement protocol that carries our tech comrades to enlightenment. May the deliveries of fate be merciful to them. Inaction is death, and I must be returning to our great work. Praise be to the truth that will reveal the path to knowledge enshrouded. Ooh. Who might be the power transforms dead metal to make manifest the holy visions of the machine god? The new protocols perceived at the synod from the great friends have been executed, despite those who shuddered at the thought of changing standard procedure. Embolden your hearts, and those whose inner weakness it breeds errors. Ooh, okay. The Fabricator recently yielded the vault to the sacred designs and committed those deemed redundant or heretical to purify and disposal. Oh. Today, dozens of standard procedures were lost, to be replaced by new ones, which the Fabricator-Censor would deliver to those who demonstrate the greatest devotion to serving the truth. But the databanks contain no notion of the truth. Oh.
Keep your wits about you.
Your mind is swayed.
You are a dangerous person,
No,
Lady
no.
Orcelio. All navigators are,
Pushing
but your
buttons.
abilities place you in a special category.
Okay. Uh-oh. The lumps protruding under the tech priest's bedraggled red robe hint at the mechanisms implanted in his body. You see his haggard and sickly face under the archaic respirator automatic. Aye. A click, a clank, a barely audible hiss, and then only the tech priest's vox finishes the word. Identification. Request denied. Pascal turns to you, his visor gleaming crimson, registering anomalous behavior within this servant's organics and an invalid new sphere response. This unit is compromised. Awareness. You carefully study the robe-clad figure. A black border of necrosis spreads out from around the tech priest's implants. For some reason, his body is rejecting the true flesh. A moment later, you recognize the dominant smell in the bouquet of scents permeating the air around the tech priest. The stench of rotten meat. Who are you? The tech priest clicks his relay. Magos Custos of the Machine Sanctum Tier 2-0. Identification. Where's Fabricator-Censor? Denied. The irregularity demands execution of Protocol 39-42 in accordance with the Fabricator-Censor's degree. Anticipated response disrupted. Execution of disposal protocol recommended. The tech priest draws his weapon, and as his robe opens, your senses are hit by a fetid wave of rot. Oh.
I'll make an example out of you.
For the throne's glory, your reckoning is due.
Cool.
Let us not dawdle.
These guys are going to be fun. Alright, save. May the fourth be with you. Although, yeah, I should be playing Star Wars game, but I want to play Rogue Trader. I'm watching Star Wars, so that makes up for it. I'm going to be watching Star Wars all day. Get my Star Wars fix in while we do some Rogue Trader. Oh, well, I like how there's that later. Alrighty. We are... let me raise that volume a bit there. We are at Kiava Gamma. Gonna be doing that again.
Let us not dawdle.
Alright, what do we gotta do? Where do we gotta go? Oh. I guess. What does that do? Okay, I can't go there yet. I believe that's where we came in. Yes. 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 Okay, yes. We're far away here. And that. Alright. Let's go up. Those flapping robes there. Ew. Some fleshy bits. What does this do? What do?
Is there money to be
Nothing
made?
escapes my sight. I better myself through my service.
Disarm the traps. Grab the goods. More things to sell? Yes. Blood mixed with machine oil is barely visible on the dark floor. Okay, well, it looks like we're going over there somewhere, so... What does this do? Oh, it lowers that. And that goes off in a completely different direction. What goes where? Okay, so that goes up over that way. This goes down over here. Okay. Yeah, why don't we go check out over here first?
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Oh!
I'll brush this off. This is intriguing.
Throne take you.
Duty
God! Oh! She's got 3 stacks of fresh injuries. That's where your, I guess your party layout really matters. Can I fix that? I forget. Can I do that with anything?
You are in the presence
Oh.
of House Orcelio.
Alright, just getting through some of these injuries. That steam was brutal. No, don't right click. I'm so used to right clicking.
I believe this will help.
Removes 1 fresh injury. Okay.
Would this help?
Your assistance is much appreciated.
Okay, well at least got rid of that one.
I believe this will help.
Integrity factor increased.
There we go. We got enough med packs that we can just burn a few.
Let's make your colors brighter.
There.
be the hand of the healer.
Hey, okay. Save. Talk to you? You gotta say something? Oh. A small, heavily augmented man in a filthy tattered robe stands before you. As you approach, he hesitantly looks up at you, his eyes filled with horror. A portable inscriber with a keyboard hangs from straps at his front, and you can see his detached cerebral cogitator peeking out from under his hood. What's this? The tech priest cowers behind his hands, whimpering pitifully. No, I'm not a cultist. They tried to corrupt my mind with their heresy, but I ran. I am Manufactorum Lex Mechanic Zeta 86. I performed the rituals for the machine spirits of Foundry 95, until we started going mad. Priests devoted to the Omnissiah suddenly started praising the dawn of something or other. They stopped the belts, and then they desecrated the visages of the sacred machines with unholy symbols. So somebody's been alive this whole time? Some of them resisted. The others grabbed them, tied them up, and then they turned their implants to heresy. I saw the madmen, my former tech comrades, deliberately connect those poor souls to corrupted cogitators. I watched as they were infected with the Scrapcode, and did nothing to stop them. I am recording a violation of the commandment of thine own forge be a true sentinel. Apostate Zeta 86. Your excesses are hereby revoked. Proceed with your report. The icy rumbling coming from Pascal's vox causes the Lex mechanic to lower his head in fear and contrition. Uh-oh. What about this person on the lower levels? The lay servants of the main units, they live in isolated segments under the sacred machine halls. I heard they were locked in there after the takeover. Then, my crazed brethren changed the system for disposing of slag waste and covered the machines in cursed symbols. The Lex mechanic hesitates. After they started the cogitator, they dragged the survivors out of the segments under the machine halls. Well, what the survivors had turned into. Oh boy. You demonstrate exceptional powers of observation and recall for someone who just happened to survive. I'm a Lex mechanic. Gathering data is the purpose of my existence. That's even what they used me for. He trails off, belatedly understanding the subtext to the interrogator's words. They used me against my will. The scrap code turns everyone into their slave. Before I rid myself of the cogitator, I was forced to serve alongside those who perpetrated these atrocities and witness their obscenities. How did you avoid it? I didn't avoid it. They performed the same procedure on me. I felt the touch of unholy code. I allowed it to control me. I abandoned my sacred post and followed one of the traitors, serving his will and gathering all the data for his blasphemous experiments. I was driven by an unholy impulse coming from the depths of my auxiliary cogitator, where the code had lodged itself. Before I found a way to throw off the compulsion, I witnessed horrifying heresy, the extraction of true flesh and its decomposition on altars, perverse procedures that resulted in heretical abominations. I even accompanied a fallen Magos to the Fabricator-Censor himself and attended the unholy mass he led personally. It was a wicked ritual, full of willful deviations and blatant inaccuracies. Oh my god, they were just so blatantly wrong. All to create an ungodly monster in the name of the Final Dawn. Yeah, you don't act like the other ones. The Lex mechanic gestures at the wires and connectors spilling out from under his hood. Praise the gifts of the Omnisci, I managed to disconnect my external cogitator, which I used for the primary data processing. The machine is corrupted. The scrap code is locked inside it, like a beast in a cage, but anyone who tries to look inside it will fall victim to the heretical program. My primitive brain has been marked by corruption. I still see their silhouettes, hear their interference. I sense the malfunctions in my augmetics, but I was still saved from the great sacrifice. Oh, blessed are the workings of the Omnisci, and his benedictions that shelters the weak from the evil. Heinrich tenses ever so slightly at the Lex mechanic's words. You see his hand casually stray to the handle of his weapon, but the interrogator is in no hurry to act. You mentioned a monster. No, not those constructs that are melted down in furnaces and sent into the depths of the Manufactorum. Oh. Ugh. It is some kind of semblance of a cogitator, a nightmarish parody of a sacred machine, powered not by the Omnisci's grace, but by the unholy spirit and life force of the unfortunates imprisoned on the lower levels. Oh. I don't know much except that the Fabricator-Censor saw that the machine is special. It was special to him, and to the crazies who defiled the Omnisci's abode with their obscene blasphemy. For the final ritual, he even called upon one of the Astartes heretics who arrived at the Manufactorum after the start of the uprisings. Oh boy. He did something terrible, and only after that they were able to switch the machine on. That's probably a word bearer. It is a true abomination. Even standing near it is unbearable. I believe that even those who have been deprived of the Omnisci's grace still feel its influence on them. Its monstrous power utilized for unholy computations and chaotic calculations. Whatever that cogitator might spew out at the end of its cycle, no righteous soul should accept its heinous offering. How did your comrades behave? Like the grace of the Omnisci had left them entirely, replacing free thought and progress with blackest corruption. I witnessed them desecrating structures blessed by the Fabricator-Censor himself. Though what do the blessings of that rotten traitor count for now? Like men possessed, they set upon the sacred instruments and assembled shells and nodes that didn't match any diagram or blueprint I'd ever seen. Sacrilege! Ah! Alright, what do you make of this? Ah! Damn it. Alright, what do you make of it? The interrogator tilts his head. Servant of the Omnisci, I must know more about the Final Dawn, the Fabricator-Censor, his mass, and about this machine as well. I could give you the coordinates, but the Lex Mechanic drops his head. Even though I was present for many blasphemies committed by those heretics, all the details that were captured and processed by my true flesh are in the augmetic that was corrupted by the Scrapcode. I am convinced that if I hadn't fought off that foreign compulsion in time, I would have been doomed. The corruption would have spread to my biological cogitator as well. The Lex Mechanic taps a finger on the device hanging from his ear and several wires. I swear that no devout tech priest should come into contact with what's hidden in that one sacred device. Heinrich's expression shifts as he stares intently at the disconnected implant and the still intact connectors protruding from under the Lex Mechanic's collar. The corner of his mouth twitches involuntarily. Abelard notices the look on Heinrich's face, and once he does, he sighs heavily and looks away. Heinrich, what are you thinking? Heinrich does not speak for several seconds, gritting his teeth, then in a meditative tone, as though he is musing aloud, he addresses the Lex Mechanic. There may be a way to retrieve the cogitator's contents via another device. The Lex Mechanic shakes his head in reproach. Even if the very idea of exposing a holy machine to the Scrapcode wasn't profane in itself, my augmetics are not universally compatible. They cannot be connected to another machine spirit. They were created to interact within the system of my true flesh, to innervate my compulsor unit and output data via the inscriber. Once I am safe, I swear that I will immediately perform a cleansing rite and destroy. In other words, there is only one way to extract the data stored in the cogitator. Heinrichs, no, don't do it. Heinrich's voice turns dry. The Lex Mechanic could have been privy to conversations that are vital to investigating the cult. We need the contents of that cogitator. The Lex Mechanic, who has been listening to your discussion in puzzlement, finally understands what is going to happen to him, and he begins to back away in fear. No! Anything but that! I'll die! No, it'll be worse than that! I'll succumb to the corruption! I'm begging you, please! I'd rather be burned as a heretic than have the Scrapcode in my biological cogitator. At these words, Heinrich pauses for a fraction of a second, almost as if he is reconsidering. Oh, he does have a bit of a heart. In failing to offer any resistance against the enemies of the Omnissiah, Unit Zeta 86 lost the grace of his machine rank and was recategorized as a resource of the Manufactorum. The defilement and torment of said resource, if committed to advance the struggle against heresy, will not be deemed an apostasy or malefaction against a living soul. Upon expiry of the unit's utility, disposal is recommended. Iconoclast. We need to know where the cogitator is. Even if the heretics' conversations are unimportant, I must know why the machine was so valuable to them. I'll tell you! The Lex Mechanic rummages through his ragged clothes until he produces a scrap of parchment. A different augmetic is responsible for my muscle memory. It has a data storage, too. I remember where I walked and what I pressed with my fingers. Here are the coordinates and the code. It's probably the code to the bay. He scratches out the numbers with his fingernail and passes the parchment to Heinrichs. Heinrichs' eyes bore into the smaller man's. At last, having reached some conclusion, he turns to you. He is a subject of your world, Aubrey. It is for you to decide his fate. Take him to my ship. Let's do all the fun stuff. The Lex Mechanic is given to the shuttle coordinates and hurries away. Heinrich watches him go and then looks at you. Excessive kindness? Aubrey gets good people into good trouble. Let's hope that the corruption only affected the disconnected augmetic and not his soul. Come on. We need to find this cogitator. Ah! What the hey? Why? There we go. No, can't go there.
Keep your wits about you.
Oh, here we go. No. It's safe. Just in case, because I don't want to have to run through all those damn steam piles again.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Oh, okay. So it just pops you back up. Okay, cool.
Whatever you wish. What advice do you seek?
Goods. Come on, Pascal.
My knowledge has its limits.
Locked. Try again.
I won't let it
Locked.
define me.
Fine, use a multi-key.
Shameful failure.
Fine, use a bomb.
This task should have been accomplished easily.
What? Okay.
I always keep my options open.
Set up a ladder. Alright, doesn't look like there's anything else over here. Alright. I'm not wasting all my items on that damn case. Let's go down.
Was a good idea.
Scroll 9, repeating technically when staring at the deep security channels gives you a headache. Oh, but it does. More stuff.
Let us not dawdle.
Pay attention.
Ooh, goods. The 16 Universal Laws. One. A tome containing warnings of the Omnissiah, the set of unshakable tenets of the Adeptus Mechanicus, is hidden from the eyes of laymen with a special binaric cipher. Only an anointed tech priest can divine the sacred knowledge from that folio. Oh, okay. Well, add to inventory. Can I do anything now with it? No? Okay. No. Oh. Oh. Yikes. Dark Mechanicum. The massive Magos, clad in a ritual garb, lets out a binaric trill that turns to you. From beneath the deep hood of his mantle, two dimly lit eye plants gaze out at you. You hear another binaric tirade, this time clearly addressed at you. Who in the void are you? What's the matter, little tin comrade? Implants on the blink? Forgotten how to speak properly? You dare address me in the vile tongue of savages? Me, the steward of Kiava Gamma, lord of the machine world? Kneel, pathetic spawn, if you seek swift disposal. You propose that I, the rogue trader of the Von Valancia's line, kneel before you? I'm giving you 5 minutes. No, not to beg for forgiveness. To speak your last words and to offer your final confession. You are one of the troglodytes who once had the gall to oppress my comrades and resist my will. A messenger from the barbarian who drank the sacred unguents bestowed upon her through the other's toil. Very well. Then your appearance is the perfect opportunity to teach your ilk a lesson. My name is Cubus Delphim. I once held the title of Fabricator-Censor of the Kiava Gamma Manufactorum, but I rejected it, along with the other fetters that hindered progress. Once my faith was flawed, and led naive fools from the cult Mechanicus into the darkness of ignorance. Now I am this world's master, and serve the true gods. You tread upon their territory, and do not number among their legion servants. Therefore, you must be subject to immediate disposal. As the senior functioning member of the priesthood of Mars, I, Megos Explorator Pascal Hanuman, declare this temple to the machine god. Comprised and forthwith forbid all service within it. I dethrone the Fabricator-Censor and the ignorant heretic who has betrayed the Omnissiah, and condemn his anathema, any and all his standard procedures implemented by him. Let the cycle of the blasphemous operations he has put in motion be discontinued. Pascal switches to binaric, and you hear dissonance burgeoning in the depths of the Forge Cathedral. Some of the giant mechanisms heed his order and go still, while others, obeying the Fabricator-Censor's will, continue their work. Crashes, explosions, and the clanging of crumpling metal signify that some dissent among the machines has interrupted the Manufactorum's production cycle. Hanuman? Liar! You are not him. Oh, crap. Liar, you're not him. Demens Hanuman obeys me. His mind is open to the voices of the void, and the Scrapcode he created protects my world. And I'll not have you, rusted refuse from the misfit caste of explorators, call me ignorant. This statement is false. Your regalia has been revoked. You have been deemed defective and will be eliminated. Pascal turns to you and says dryly, Initiating heretic search. Designation, Demens Hanuman. I wish to execute this retribution procedure. So you traded one master for another? The Fabricator-Censor's vox lets out a piercing, barely audible sound that makes your insides shudder. I will rip out your spinal column and braid it around my staff, you arrogant creature. Oh, of course. What'd you do with the governor, then? The removal of unserviceable artifacts was the first step toward retooling this world. Only my tech comrades heeded the call of truth that reached into their cogitators and allowed them to pierce the veil of empty dogmas. Poor old Gaprak. 10 or so years back, he told me he felt uneasy in the presence of the tin can comrades. I mean, the esteemed Adeptus Mechanicus. He casually complained about not having been dealt a normal planet. I'll have to honor his memory with a prayer, once we have finished purging this place. Thankfully, the Fabricator-Censor here did not require any coercion to confess to treason. I won't let you continue. You may be driven by your will to fight, but know this. Kiava Gamma has already been converted. Its lines have been restructured, and its servants have already tasted the fruits of progress. In the crucibles of this manufactorum, torrid liquid metals will be used to forge vessels for sacred spirits. The adepts are already tirelessly delving deeper into new mysteries that were once barred by false tenets. You, servants of fake gods, are too late. The entire might of this world will soon rise up against the anathema and his slaves. So many open admissions of heresy in so few sentences. Sister, how many death sentences would you say his words warrant? I cannot say that, Master Van Calyx. It is not my duty to measure the guilt of heretics. When the Adeptus Sororitas appear before enemies of the Imperium, it is time to fire, not count. And now is one of those times. You know why I like deranged tin cans like you? When you're killed, you leave behind plenty of useful spare parts. I think I'll make a portable recaf machine out of you. Yes. Comrades, purge the manufactorum of any random variables. I must prepare for the culmination of our great work. Let their blood mix with oil. Ooh. Timbit. Okay.